Did I do it? Did it on Twitch? Did it on YouTube? Professionals. That's what we are. Right. Peggy getting first 65 times and signing in for 350 free streams. How you doing, Peggy? Good to see you. Oh, that's dead quiet for me. Turn the music down for me, up for you. That's still quiet. Audio. Master volume's on full. That's much louder. Let me turn this back down. Let me turn music back up. Let's try that. Okay, that should be better for everyone. How you doing, Peggy? So we accidentally overheated everything here. But that's fine, because we made some steam. And the steam cooled everything down. So in a way, we did well. LJ, welcome in. How you doing? Did you enjoy your trip away? I'm also going to try and mop everything. Welcome in for 232 streams. Ooh, what game you downloading? I did expect the injuries. Are you injured? Cyberpunk? Let's try and sweep these two areas. Next time we are cruising near Zaps. Ooh. Pludgy, how you doing? Hey, Pludgy, wanna know something funny? The base got raided last night. After me and True logged off, I believe. Bruh. I know, do you know what's annoying though? Is I really wanted to build an upgraded base. Like upgraded defense. But we ended up using a ridiculous amount of explosives and we raided multiple bases around us. And I know exactly which base it happened to. But do you know what the cool thing is though? We had used every single explosive we had. So all they got really was a ton of guns, some crafting recipes, and charcoal. They got nothing to do with explosives. So yeah, there was literally like nothing explosive wise in the base. So all they got was not even that good of loot either, because the jackhammers and stuff were in the vault. I fell off a land train, smashed my face, which cut my gums, waiting to get into a dentist, bruised all over my legs, almost broke my ankle. I'm not allowed to walk alone anymore. Is there other types of trains other than a land train? Also, I hope you feel better soon. I got distracted by those two words, threw me off right at the beginning. I hope you feel better soon. Hang on. Okay. I think a train with wheels and tires. Oh, right. Okay. I was thinking, what's a water train? I volunteer to hold LJ's hand and walk her around. Maybe I'm wrong. That does sound correct. But Uh, Pledgy, the jackhammer on Unturned is crazy powerful. True went out with a jackhammer, and I went out with a jackhammer, and then we basically made like 10 explosive. We could get through 5 stone walls in about 30 minutes. And then if we carried on, we'd get even more. But we ended up destroying, like, utterly destroying a reinforced metal base. Like, everything. Because they had windows on it, right? So the actual wall was 2,000 health, but they used reinforced windows, and they only have 500 health. So we just went through the windows and managed, like, bruh. I don't know why they did that. Sent a photo. Where? When you're sure. Where am I looking? Oh, okay. I understand what a land train is now. And you fell off it. Was that at the end of the holiday? Did you survive the holiday before that happened? Second to last day. That's not bad. If that happened on the first day, that would have been pretty bad. So you did good. First day would have been rough. Yeah, that would have been a... That would have been a bad day. You know what? Immediately, I'm thinking about making this too wide. Just to protect this water coolant going to there. But if I went to the ship, doctor... So I packed lots of meds. Ah, that is lucky. How bad are the bruises? Also, let's move this ladder over. No, let's not move that ladder over because we were gonna... We're gonna do this. I really am liking this game at the moment. If you can't tell. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Let's get rid of the buildings. Oh. The main ladder we used doesn't line up with the base. But that's fine, because this is only here temporarily. Hopefully this will all be removed shortly. I'm also wondering what to do with this petroleum. Couldn't... What, that I like this game? Tell me about it. Hot tubs and vodka also helped. That does sound like that would help. Is that gonna get deleted? Uh-oh. I don't actually know what that was. Yeah. I also am enjoying, I enjoyed playing Unturned. I also won a Dota game yesterday, so that was nice. That's rare. I had a bit of fun playing random heroes, but now I'm back to the classics. was very fun. What's holding you back? Ooh. Ouch. Ouch. I have bruises, but it's mostly because I get bit. Uh-oh, what was that? I heard danger sounds. Was that because of the hot tubs and vodka? Also, what is this playlist? This is just sounds. I need words. If they pit me. These are the conversations we all have before Katie wakes up. Last minute house sitting, family friends are going on holiday and their house sitter cancelled last minute, so who else goes sit in the house then? A failing bin man. Failing bin man. Bro, you need a laptop. You need a laptop. Too late, been here for a bit. Good morning, Katie. Welcome in, how you doing? Also met 2 Bob lookalikes. Didn't get a pic of them with me as they were in the band, but they were sat drinking with me, and all I could think is, oh my god, Bob. Bob lookalikes. Uh-oh, someone is trapped. They were twins? So you can finish a convo? Ah, no, we're just messing. I have a laptop, the one that runs Minecraft at 5 FPS. See if it runs unturned. Right, what do I do with all of this petroleum? I need to try and move it somewhere. Let's make a little area down here. I'm gonna try and move all of this random petroleum over there. This stuff, I'm just gonna deconstruct and make some more steam. The empty ones will also be deconstructed. Because I'm not sure what they're for. This can now be... deconstructed, and we'll go the whole way down to prevent being confused later. That can also go. That can go. Ready or not graphics are insane. Ready or not? What's ready or not? Oh, is that the SWAT game? Is that where you control the SWAT team? Yeah? Oh, that game, I like that game. That game's so much fun. I played that a lot with Llama, but most of the time we were just shooting each other. Look more like you in real life. I was gonna say, everyone who has a beard is a lookalike so far. Shocker. Yeah, nah, that game was fun. That was a lot of fun. But we did just shoot each other a lot. But it would go in phases. So there'd be a phase of it. So like we would start the level, I'm like, this gun's cool, shoot llama. And then the start of the next reload, because one of us was dead, it would be like, oh yeah, my gun's cool too, shoot. And then it's like, after like 10 minutes of that, then we actually play the game. It was a lot of fun though. I like the fact there's so much you can do in that. I might need to start playing that again. But there's so much you can do in that. Like, you can use the things to look under the doors of the mirrors and be like, okay, there's 2 on the left, 1 on the right. I'll go left, you go right. If you have the AI with you, you can just tell them to breach the room, and it's not... I think it's more fun with people. But then if you don't have people, it's pretty good just to do it. You get what I mean? One is the drummer and one is the guitarist. We'll install in a second and see. Did I ever change the playlist? I didn't. I got distracted because LJ sent me a photo of a bruise and it looks very sore. What songs can I listen to on stream? Let's do some reggae. Ah, the account has been unset to family friendly. Let me get that changed. There we go. Right, we'll chill with a bit of this for a while. I stay my whole legs with black and purple. Ouch. How did you manage it though? So like you're on the land train, not the sky train or the water train, but you're on the land train. You go to get off it, what happens? KT, welcome in for 363 streams. I can see my mustache when I'm looking forwards. I need it shorter, but I'm waiting until closer to something happening later in the month. GG? Nah, it annoys me. The beard is getting too big. Too long. Since reading this message, you are now... Bruh, I don't... Bruh. Hey, did you know, Pledgy, that you have eyebrows? No one ever thinks of their eyebrows, you know? Not until it's pointed out. You always forget until you look in a mirror. And then it's like, oh yeah, I do have eyebrows. I did just manually blink. Right, what's the pressure in the base? The pressure is slowly dropping in the base. We're going to redo this wall. I'm going to set these back to auto. Just let the pressure in the base build up again. You can... I can see it. Like, I can see my mustache moving when I talk. And if I look here, and you know how you have that provisional, or whatever it's called, vision? I can see it. On a good day, I can see the back of my head. Sweep. Where did I hear that? Can't remember where I heard that joke. Anyway. Right, let's go here. Ooh. It was a big step down. Chris was holding my arm, helping me, but my foot slipped and I went bang. Legs hit the floor of the train, the door handle. On the inside of my thighs. Now that hurt. Then as I came down... It's not funny. It's not funny. I'm very sorry you hurt yourself and I hope you feel better soon. But the visualization of you're getting help and then it's like, I don't need your help kind of thing. Are you just like, blah, 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 blah. It's kind of funny. Not the fact you hurt yourself, but the visualization of someone doing what you did is funny. I'm trying so hard not to... And it came down off, my foot slipped off the step, helping you get in and out, sending my ankle over the right. But it's... You can laugh at people falling over if you know them, and it's not maliciously, right? I had to point that out. It's not malicious. We care that you feel better soon. If a stranger falls over, it's kind of like, oh no. But if you know them, right? LJ's been here for years at this point, and she fell over in a very funny way. But it's LJ. Exactly. We know LJ, you know. I think we know LJ enough that she survived, she's okay, so we can be like, that's kind of humorous. Same way that if you're like out and about and your pal falls over. If it wasn't Chris there, I would have... Ah, MVP Chris then. But it is quite the skill to still fall over and injure yourself while getting help. I'm not allowed to be on my own anymore. You're not allowed to walk on your own. But it should, like... You're there, you're getting help, and you still manage to fall over. It's slightly humorous. In a your friend fell over kind of way. Just saying. Yeah, let's get rid of that and that. We'll get rid of these bridges. A step design to help you out. Right, there we go. Now we're draining all of these petroleum pipes. Good morning, Zaps. How you doing? Welcome in for 348 streams. Bob the Plumber. Exactly. Exactly. How you doing, by the way, over on the YouTubes? No, it's LJ. We protect LJ at all costs. LJ was protected. This is after the fact. I guess we wait for all of this to drain. But essentially, what I'm wanting is I'm wanting steam power to be built here. Yes, I need my coffee. For sure. Maiko, welcome in for 44 streams. How you doing? Safe journeys, Katie. Safe journeys. Us. We are yet to do a meetup. What is that, by the way? Is that just water? Why is that there? Let's try and get rid of that. We can probably start deconstructing this as well. Because this is where the line would go. And then we deconstruct buildings. Yeah, because our spaceships were here, and we've recently found out that we can build them all the way up here. We'll go on the same cruise. I feel like that'd be so chaotic. Yeah. What is that? What is that in there? Dirt? Right, and we were gonna empty these two. Get rid of them. Then we get to see Bob in shorts. Improve he has legs. And he can take his hat off. Could wear it in the hot tub. I have legs, I'd like to point out. Don't know why I have to point that out. You having legs is a conspiracy theory? I once stood up on stream. I was very angry at chess, if you remember that clip. You can't invite... Oh. I also don't wear shorts yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on wearing shorts. I now don't wear the hat outside every single day. In fact, in the last week, I don't think I've worn it outside. Maybe once for like 5 minutes. I'm getting there. You take that hat off, I'm really trying to. Recently, I've been trying to take it off more. Because as soon as I realized it was almost not an option for me to take it off, I knew I had a problem. Well, I knew I had a problem with it for a long time, but I can't have something I'm like, I need to feel comfortable. Because what would happen if I lost it? What would happen if I work somewhere that doesn't allow hats? In fact, I had an employment agency try and help me recently, and they were like, is there any requirements with, or any changes you would, reasonable changes you would like them to make? And I was like, yeah, they need to let me wear my hat or I'm not working there. And they were like, I don't know how they would respond to that. I'm like, right, okay, I'll work on taking my hat off. And that's why I started doing it. Because they were like, can you take it off now? I was like, no, because you asked. Like, it makes me so... If someone's like, take off your hat, I'm like, no, I don't wanna. What if I don't wanna? What are you gonna do about it? You gonna force me? You can't force me. What are you gonna do? No, I'm not taking off my hat. And that's how I felt. I think there's a name for that, and it's not the best, but I'm trying very hard to fix a dependency that I realize might cause issues later. I'm trying very hard. It is difficult, but that's because I've worn it for like 10 years. Can't or shouldn't? Wait. You can't go birthday suit? Wait, what did I just read? You might... What? But me and Pludgy are just casually talking about the hat, and you guys are having a whole separate other conversation. You are what they warn people about when they say, oh yeah, I'm on the internet a lot. Let's get rid of all of this. But no, the next thing I want to work on once I get used to not wearing the hat, which I am getting pretty used to. Next step is I want to buy some shorts. And maybe try wearing shorts. I think that's one of my next things I'm going to work on. Shorts are so nice. I've heard. But a year ago, I wouldn't wear anything other than really thick clothes all year round. But I'm trying to... That's another thing I'm trying to fix. Bro, there's so much to fix, man. I don't know whether fix is the right word, but it makes more sense to say fix. If you get what I mean. I'm very self-aware of stuff I want to change about myself. And I'm just going through them one by one. I've been meaning to tell you, I wore a dress on Saturday night and found out it had pockets in. I had no idea when I bought it. Hey, pockets for women. Appreciate the follow. How you doing? Welcome in. is a win for sure, definitely. Ah, this is gonna be so cool once we get this working, by the way. I'm not currently sure what design I'm gonna use yet. But I'm excited to find out. I was halfway to dinner and I was messing with my bag. I caught my thing, right? I was so excited. Alright, we're almost done with this. We gotta deconstruct all of that. We're getting there though. This is gonna be a big spaceship area with steam power to use heat, or to try and at least save some of the heat. And each one is also going to be using polluted water. So it's going to work as getting heat back from the system that otherwise would be lost, and convert polluted water into water, and process the steam. I'm not quite sure how we're going to build it though. Outlaws, appreciate the 20 months at tier 2. How you doing, Outlaws? Very appreciated. How you doing, Outlaws? I've not worn anything long-legged in about 8+ years. Nice. Yeah, I do want shorts at some point. I just don't currently have any. Right, we've almost cleared all of this up. Let's get rid of the ventilation next. So it's not a massive switch. Yeah, I imagine it would be similar to the hat, where it all kind of happened very fast. Because Fret said, yeah, but if you don't wear it, it's going to feel very normal very quickly. And it will only be weird for the first amount of time. And I was like, I'm not sure about that, but I'll give it a go. And yeah, no, it did pretty much work exactly like that. Right. Power sorted. What is that? Okay, I don't know if we can reach all of this, but we'll do that. Time to lurk, appreciate the lurk. I'm good, awesome, awesome. Do we try and get in there? I guess so. Oh, wait. Cancel all of that. We're going to be going that way anyway. Because there's water here I don't want. So let's deconstruct that. And get ready with the mop. So today's Monday, right? How was everybody's weekend? What did everyone get up to? Let's sweep that. Priority 9 will clear this area out. And this area, what is that? That can go. Okay, we're getting so close to starting the new build. Now, I haven't actually planned this out, but we'll base it off the width of one of these. And maybe we do 2 per steam room. There's a lot of heat generated. Stardust, welcome in. How you doing? How you doing, Stardust? Are you doing capture the heat from the rockets? Yeah. That's what. First time chatter. Yeah. So the idea is we tried it down here and we decided, well, one of the things I realized is I could put the spaceships all the way up here and they used to be down here. So now we've moved them up here. We've got all of this space to do it. So the idea is that we're going to make the width of one of these into steel metal tiles. And I'm thinking about doing 2 of these per steam room. And then the metal will bring the heat to the steam room. And the steam room's going to be multifunctional because we also want it to use polluted water to make the steam. And we're going to run it like that. On the metro to go to work. Hope you have a good day at work. I'm going to chuck a door in here. You could do heat spikes that run down into the steam room. Heat spikes. Heat spikes. I could do that, yeah. Because then we could use automation. So gas/heat capture with bunker doors into this, into metal spikes that go into the steam room. I don't know what the heat capture with bunker doors is. But what I would imagine it would be something like this is under the spaceship. And then we could do the whole... Oh, there's no middle. Guess we're doing it that way. With the insulated around it. Like that. That's where the rocket will be up here. And then we could do a diamond window tile there. With the thermosensor in here. But with an automated door? Oh, yeah. Like that. And then this could be the steam room, right? And then, hypothetically, because I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this yet, but we would want a steam turbine attached to this room. Now, whether I do 1 or 2, I'm not sure. Or maybe... Right, we're brainstorming as we go right now, but bear with. Steam turbine... Double steam turbine? And then... 1, 2, 3 of the metal. Wait for it. This would be where the next one started, maybe? Steam room. With 2 rockets here. We would need access to power into the steam room. All metal, so you can stack rocket next to each other. In fact, wait for it. Wait for it. I want to move that over by 1. All of that will be moved over to there. I have an idea. That will go there. That will go there. I like that idea, by the way. That's a great suggestion. Alright, so that's been moved over by 1. Should maybe move that further in as well. I know. Right, and then get rid of that. Move that over to there. 1 perfectly in the middle. And then we want the heavy one. Where's the... There. And this is how we get the heavy watt wire in here. And then this would go along to the next one. How we're going to get the power to that, I don't know. We could run a conductive wire, like the cheaper one of these. Just along the whole thing. Oh wait, no, they don't actually need to be powered. Powering them just speeds them up, but this is automated. So something like that at the top. What do we think? What's the suggestions? We all have a door once in a while. Obviously, this room here, yes, Peggy. This room here will be cooled. We'll put some sort of gas in there. We'll have a cooling system running to it. We'll also have the water from these are going to be... I think it could run more steam turbines. What, the 3 of them? The rockets will be going... So these will be the mining rockets, which will be like from here to like there, 10 cycles, back 10 cycles. So I don't know if the heat will survive that long. We'll do another one, but they won't be used as often. These will be mostly because I want 3 different mining ships. I don't even know if we're going to have enough diamond for this, but we might need to figure out how to make a second system for the diamond. Is that too large? That bit? Well, I want it to absorb as much heat as possible. The vacuum shouldn't take any heat away from this. That's one of the benefits. Just brainstorming quickly. Double side by side. Oh, that's not thick enough. Oh, that's fine though, because this is I didn't like how that was looking. What do we think of something like this? So we've got the injector in the middle, left, and right for these 3 different temperatures. This isn't where it's going to be up here, but what do we think? Double door for all of them? Yes. Or I don't know if this is going to look better or worse. What do we think of that? You like that? I'm going to allow that word. That might look very cool. Here's a question. Shall we build it in creative first to make sure it works? Yeah? Okay. Let's go into, let me cancel this. There we go. Let's go into a creative world quickly. Build it in creative. Let me go here, and here. Let me main menu save. What do I type on the main menu again? There's got to be someone out there that remembers. It's like Clay Plays or something. Nope. Why, hello, Twitch. CLAI Plays? Nope. What? Oh, man. CIA Plays? KIA E Plays? What do I type on the main menu? I keep forgetting that. Let me go over to Google. It never tells me either. Okay, let's go over to ChatGPT. Ask the same question. What do I type? Oh, CLEI. Sorry, K. KLEI Plays. There we go. Right, load. Let's load our creative world. Type Alt F4, definitely. That sounds like it. I think I remember something along those lines. Right, let's load this one. Right, we ready to nerd out for a bit? Oh. I forgot about this. I was practicing how to make an industrial brick. Because I've not made one of them before. Also, quite a lot in our sour gas boiler started melting. And then down here, this stuff just seems to just keep making ridiculous stuff. Right. Let's go up here in the vacuum, because this is preferably where we're going to build it. So let's deconstruct all. Let's dig it all out. Press Alt F4, it removes all CO2. Yep, definitely. Definitely. Right, let's go for... What do I have? That one. I have that one in the game. So. Let me just double check how high up I can build. Okay, that should be enough. So let's build it here. We want to use steel. So we'll go... Clear the floor there. Alright. We had 6 spaceships, I believe, so that tells us how wide it should be. Oh. Steel. Or was it 4? I think it was 4. Alright, and then... Was it 4? Remember there being 3 over here. And then... Window tile... this is where we try and remember it. Hmm. Made the spike lower by doing a pyramid down at the door. Yes. And then it was power, steam turbine, steel should be fine with a one gap in the middle. We had one of them, pillar, one of them, next steam turbine room. Oh, it would have been more than 4 then. Because we mirrored it. One, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You didn't do the gap between the turbines? The gap between the turbines? What, here? I don't know if this is gonna work, but, well, it will work. I don't know how efficient it'll be. Luckily, the auction not included sweats who bully me for my builds not being 100% efficient aren't here currently. So we're gonna have a bit of fun. Right, then we'll go down a bit. The turbines were side to side without a gap. I think that's why. Ah, right, got you. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. It's quite a large steam turbine room. Automation. We want a thermosensor. This room, technically, steel should be fine. Right. My phone's buzzing. Oh, it's my Fitbit needing charging. That's fine. Okay, so automation-wise, will be each one of them to there. We're probably also gonna want green's open, innit? So whenever that's closed, do we have the turbines off? Or because we don't want these running when it's like not efficient. So we need a not gate. Thermo loop in the rooms, 2 separate loops cooling the turbine, so you maximize the heat added to the room. Yes, but would that drain our power though? If you get what I mean. I do want the water that comes out of here to be cooled. I don't want the water that comes out of this to be converted and then really hot. So, with that in mind... Yeah, 1,000. I've got a thought in my head. Let me work this out. There is going to be a part of our base which is solely for cooling. So do I want to one that's separate from the system? Bob the Thinker. So I want one area of the base to be solely for cooling. So I don't know whether to do this in here. It might cost more than what you make from it. Let's figure this out. How much do these make if they're running at all the time? So these output 850. So 2 of these will be 1,700. So 3,400. If these are running at max capacity, which it would have to be quite warm for that. With that in mind, if all 4 of these are running, we should be able to sustain an aqua tuner. Right? In my head, that's correct. Yes. Where I put this, though, I don't know. Because I want it to be kind of centered. If we put it there, I think that's enough in the center. You can do a separate system where you can allow the heat from the aqua tuner to be shared with the room. Just like the metal tiles. Yeah, see, the thing is, on the actual base, I have a massive area for cooling. So I don't know if I need the cooling to be done in this facility. Starter, get Peggy. I might want this facility to be totally separate. And I'm starting to think that's the case. Yeah, this is going to output water that we're going to deal with separately. No, that needs to be insulated. So we're just going to vent that for now. We'll have 2 separate inputs to manage 2 separate areas. Let's just get rid of them. Let's leave that as the same way. We can do plumbing, liquid. So that can be our inputs, maybe. Or do you think it would work with just one? It might work with just one. Well, with that in mind, let's try it with two, so it's not too reliant on one area in the base. So we'll do it like that with two. And then we'd want that automated. So automation, we want an AND gate. Oh, polluted oxygen. What are we going to do with the polluted oxygen in this one? Because technically, if this room's full of steam... Ooh, flash. Might not need to... It's in a vacuum. Yeah, but once this is all steam... Because we're going to input polluted water. So once this is all steam... We're going to have to deal with polluted oxygen. Let's do the back plane first. Why not just use regular water? And because I wanted to have the system also deal with convert polluted water. Because then it's like multifunctional. It's not just using water to make heat. It's also going to be converting our polluted water into normal water. I think that would be cool to have it multifunctional like that. Normal water would be cool, but... Keep the pressure high. Keep the pressure high. How high does it need to be for it not to output? I've not looked at that before. How high does the pressure need to be for it not to put out polluted oxygen? I believe it's 2 kilogram. So keep it at 50. If it can't outgas, then it's not a problem. So if the steam, right. So to do that, we'd want another AND gate here. Then add your, yeah, so we could start it with inputting water. And then switch once it's the correct temperature. Right, that makes sense. Let's give that a go then. So we'd want... What do we want in this room? We technically don't need any gases in here. We'll probably end up building this down up. What are you going to do with the dirt then? We're going to send that into... We've got a different facility already that cools materials down to base temperature. So we'll be sending that away. luckily, we've already got that set up. The question is, if this is the right temperature, we shouldn't have it go much further than where it already is. It shouldn't get too far either way. To degas. We did have that on our first design, but I didn't like the fact we were shipping Steam. So this design number 2 is where we use it, where it's generated. We could have a look at that. Let's see what this design will do. Do they overlap? No. Do you know what I'm going to do as well? Ah, we can't do that. Never mind. Because it will delete the background building. Steam is a great platform. Take that back. Steam's great. I've got loads of games I don't play from Steam. Okay, so here. Conveyor loader. We'll do that with the power. Go in like that. Shipping. We'll go from there up to this way, because in the real situation, this is where it would actually go, towards the other cooler. And this would be... it would probably just put all in case anything happens. Now, just in case bad happens, we're going to want one of these. On either side. This is just insurance. This is to prevent us ever needing to come back in here. And hopefully most of the time they're not active. Too much power for the line. I thought this holds... yeah, this holds 50 kilowatts. If we can have this run itself... ah, no, never mind. Right, so then we would want an AND gate next to both of these. AND gate. And these will go like that, like that. Get rid of that. Like that. Like that. Get rid of that. Ugh! If anything, it's way too much over-engineered with those wires. These ones? But it looks cool though, doesn't it? Let's all agree on that. Oh, the power wires. It looks awesome, yes. Would you recommend doing things like this being won over and all of that? I'll catch you after if it doesn't go too long. No worries, Katie. Appreciate you. Symmetry. That's what I'm going for right now. Right. And then, next to these ones, we would want an Atmos sensor. Probably closer to the vent. And these can actually feed both of them. Okay, let's go along and up instead. See, how cool does this look? Okay, so that will confirm So you said 2K. So what if we put 5K? So that'd be 5 kilograms. Or maybe we work with 10 kilograms. 50. We'll add another 0. So send green signal if above. That is 50 grams, 500 grams, 5 kilograms, 50 kilograms. Oh, that's above the max. A max is 20. It looks like it. So I guess we go for 20. Should be more than enough. 20 kilograms. Right, and then these ones are going to say, send green signal if above. What temperature do we want the gas at? What's the optimal ideal gas temperature for steam? I think I've heard people say 200. 125. That's when it turns to steam, isn't it? Or is that the perfect steam temperature? Send green signal if above 125 at least. We'll go 130. Just to try and keep it slightly hotter, especially with the gas, the amount of steam in here. So we'll go 130. We'll copy that to there and there. Those Atmos sensors are set. Right, and then we need these cooled somehow. The steam turbines we need cooled. So if the water, the output water, is going to be taken away to be cooled, we could use that as a part of our cooling, right? So in theory, clear the floor in there. In theory, if we had a tiny bit of supercoolant in here, what about the max of your steam? What's the max? We're going to be making it out of, where is it? Power, steam turbine. We'll either use steel, or we do have quite a lot of, what's it called? That one. Overheat temperature plus 900. But what I was thinking was doing something like steel, something like that in each of the rooms. Should that be good? That should be good. And hopefully that wouldn't cause anything to overheat. Nope. Hopefully that doesn't cause the water to overheat, as long as there's lots of water in here, right? Oh, super coolant. We'll test that over time if that works. Obviously, this is for experimental purposes only. Am I not thinking of something here? So the automation runs everywhere. What am I not thinking of? Make rockets? Yes. But the core function of this, the input, we're going to start with water until we get the correct steam level. Oh, that's what we're missing. The automation for the vents. So we would want that. So that will send green signal if above that. So we also want one NOT gate going down like that. Send green signal. Wait, 1 second. Send green signal if above 130. So if the temperature there is 130, this would be green. Yes. You want more steam if it's above? So just go straight. The problem is if this isn't hot enough and we keep inputting water, eventually we're just going to fill this with water, won't we? So just for problem prevention. Let me try something and then I'll show you what I'm thinking. Trying to think where to put this. Wait, we could just use this one here. Oh wait, we could use this output actually. Oh wait, we'd want this reversed, I think. Because this one will only work if it's above that and above that. But we want to do the opposite. We want it above this, but below that. Yeah, we're going to need a separate one, I think. Sorry, my brain. Bear with. Unless we use the NOT gate on that. If we use a NOT gate on this one. So, if we did... with an AND gate somewhere. But we need to be able to access both of them. If it's not above, you want more. Yeah, so we're... I'll show you. Let me do this. That there. Then we want the NOT gate. There. And then this to there. That to there. This into there. That into there. This into there and there. We don't technically need two of these, but symmetry. That into there. So, if it's the correct temperature... Oh, wait. If it's above that, send green signal if above. Yeah, we don't want a NOT gate there then, right? We don't want that being a NOT gate. We just want that being a straight input. So in order for this to input more water, it has to be the correct temperature, but not enough gas. And if the temperature's too low, we're not going to input more liquid. This is once it's primed. Do you see what I mean? Okay. Who's followed what I've just done? Because could you explain it to me? Right, so... automation-wise, until it's the right temperature, we're going to have that separated. And we're going to bring that down by 2, and we're going to use a switch. Right, so that should be the wiring for it. So they're both set to green. We want this warmer. I have, but I would just start testing and fixing it on the go. Right, new rocket. Petroleum. Build. Then we want a fuel tank. Build. Build. One of those. Why not one of those? And then just a normal cone. Right. Plumbing. Oh, how do we deliver that? Deliver to that? That's a point. How do we deliver to this without dupes? Oh, yeah, yeah. So we can be like, go there. And then again. Let's take the temperature. Right, so immediately. The heat gets absorbed. And it's gonna come back. A lot of the gas as well, though. Alright, so we're slowly priming it. Look at the heat look at the heat going up. So let's go dev auto rocket. Small petroleum engine. Oh, I can do auto rockets. Right, so you change there. You change. Let's see if we can overheat it. Oh wait, we don't have any steam in there. Right, so we don't have any steam. So what temperature is this now? 20. Does it not transfer heat? I might have... oh yeah. Does this not transfer heat? What if we input steam? Would that be good? Like immediately prime it by inputting some steam? Because when we actually build it... When we actually build it, we could build it like with that. And then what liquid would be in here? Maybe supercoolant? Yeah, because it's never going to get to that temperature. Supercoolant. Like that. Clear floor. Ventilation. High pressure. High pressure goes to what temperature? Whoops. Oh, that is made out of plastic. That might overheat. What temperature does that go to? Overpressure's at 20. Perfect. Appreciate the reactions on YouTube. So we could, if we wanted to, input steam until it overpressurizes. That might take a while. Or at least input steam until there's a decent amount of it. So let's see what happens if we input some steam into this. Turns to liquid. That's fair. What temperature is this? Okay, so let's say... Right, so... Let's launch 3 of these. Why not just dev paste it in? Oh, yeah, that would be smart, wouldn't it? I forgot about that. Right, so then this is going to heat up. Very warm. Okay. So there is a tiny bit of, Hey, Miss Penguin, appreciate the 90 bits. Welcome in, how you doing? That's still a vacuum. There's some steam over here. I'm trying to figure out if it would work like this for when we're in the game. Right, that's cooling down already. Where's the heat going? Again. Again. So there is some steam in here now. Yeah, so that one's actually got steam in there. At the correct temperature. So we need that to spread, because this over here is still a vacuum. Is this water heating up? Yeah, look how hot that is. Okay, let's bring these back. This is going to make a bit of heat on the way back. By a bit of heat, I'm imagining a lot of heat. Why is the steam not moving? We've got 2 kilograms of steam here and it's not going this way. I imagine this room's gonna go like boom in a minute with a lot of steam. Because there's water here. It's taking long to heat up. Which is fair enough. It would do this in the actual game as well. But we're getting there. It's slowly moving along. Oh. I'm going to move this up by 1. Does that help? For your sanity? Do you not want to sit here and wait? I mean, it is moving along though, isn't it? But that's a fair request, because I'm also... You might throw in some temp flush plates. Every other tile. Oh, that is actually smart, because I haven't put any temp shift plates in here. Just to help it move around. It's holding the heat, though. What temperature is this water? That water's close to becoming steam. And then it might fill this room quite quickly. I'm trying to recreate what it would be like in the actual game, by the way. So apologies that it's what's overheating. I don't think it's anything here. We have a lot on this map. That's just like about that we've been trying to build. So far, nothing wrong has gone with this, heat-wise. Ooh. We're gonna need a lot of steam. But I'll make a secondary building to make a bunch of steam. Ooh. That's gonna transfer heat between this room and that room. That's a heat leak. That's gonna leak heat. It'll be fine. It's wasted power though. I can hear everyone who plays this game being like, you're wasting power. You're cooling your steam room. It'll be fine though. Right? Do you? What, care? Probably not, no. Okay, so this is all steam now. So we're inputting steam. So let's stop the steam going out. Wait for this to turn to... Eventually we'll add heat to the steam room now. Eventually, but if this room's hotter than this room, then the water that comes out of here is going to be ridiculously hot. I can't even talk. So the problem we have with the auto mod is sometimes it if it hasn't heard a word before, it wants a mod to react to it. So you can do it normal with normal conductive instead of normal conductive. Technically this stuff, if that's what you mean. But this will be linked to a system that's already way above that. I'm waiting for this water to react. It's quite warm. What temperature is this? This is still hotter. It's almost there. It's so close. Let's input some more heat. Just to keep it hot, which we'll probably do. Oh, I didn't set a destination, did I? And then once we've got this working, we're going to try and break it, essentially. Oh, wait, I think this planet might get asteroids. I forgot about that. The other planet doesn't. Don't panic. Oh, this is so close to turning to steam. Look how hot this water is. That's some hot water. Hold. Oh, look, some of it's turning to steam because it's going down and there we go. The middle bit is very hot as well. Okay, it's going. Metal tiles at the bottom. What would that do? Oh, just to allow like heat exchange along it? Or temp shift? I do want temp shift, so we should probably put that in sooner than later. I think we would end up using steel for these, though. Because that's what we have the most of. Steel. So we'd want it going from... We don't want it touching one of the corners. So we would probably have it there. 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 And then we'll do every other. Like that. That should really help spread it about. Right, let's clear the floor. That's 10 kilograms. So let's connect that and see what happens when we input some water. It's almost instantly going. Right, let's make some more power. Heat, I mean. Turn the turbines on. I don't think they're set to work yet, are they? Oh, they might be, actually. Would we want them on before we get to the right temperature? Who are all these dead people? You have interrupted my build. Turn the turbines on? Right. As soon as we get to 20 kilograms of steel and these turn off, which they won't, will they? Oh, oh. Things are happening. Right, we're at 20 kilograms. Plumbing. Boom. Turn that off. The second this turns to steam, we're going to switch to polluted water. Woohoo. This is exciting. Right, power-wise... are we wanting this to power itself? So, do we need to input power to get this moving? I don't think so. This should start by itself. Okay, automation. You go back to there, and then to there, and then you untick, untick. Right. I think this is ready to go. So it's all off because the temperature isn't high enough yet. What happened to the temperature up here? Alright, let's get them to land and then see what happens. Let's input a ton of heat. Struggling with heat since the rockets are gone for a long time. Yeah, that's true. But we don't want to waste heat. This is just to collect a byproduct of the rockets going. Otherwise, none of this would do anything. Right. Here they come. They're gonna come back. They input a ton of heat. What's happening to the supercoolant? How's steam in here? What? Let me brush... Is there steam in there? There is steam in there. Wait, how is there steam in there? How did steam go through that? pipe broken? Where? Oh, it's the heat transfer between here and there. Aha! Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this whole thing here a vacuum. Hold. Bear with. Get ready to see my genius at work. It didn't work. Right, where's that steam coming from? Is this broken? It's above 100 in the turbine room. Right, we're gonna have to deconstruct that and rebuild it, because I think that was the same bug we had the other day. There we go. Right. Plumbing. Deconstruct. Like that. And then we'll go for the good old... one of them and one of them. Nope. I don't want to be in that. Pipes are breaking because of the heat. I forgot about that. You get the entirety of the blame. Definitely wasn't me. Definitely. I'd like to add that to the record. Right, what about that? Sweep. What is all this? Supercoolant? How did I do that? Okay. I don't know if this gets hot enough. It's a lot of steam there. We broke a lot of it. Rexy, welcome in. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in for 138 streams. Is 20 kilograms too much? We're struggling to get there. Wait, what is happening? Automation. That's green. Oh! Did we change this to polluted water? And then plumbing. Right, here we go. Let's see if this creates polluted oxygen. It doesn't currently create it. Oh, is it struggling because of the power? I'm curious if this can run itself. I'm doing good, thanks, Rexy. How are you? What's the issue here? Why isn't it just running? Disabled by automation grid. Why are you turning off the turbines? Because we only want them to work. Just let them run. Do we not only want them to work when the pressure in here is correct? Because otherwise we're going to be ending up with because won't this slowly lose heat now, or lose the kilograms of it's going down? So eventually we're going to run out, right? Why is that? I hope you do well with it. So manage the output pipe. Manage the output pipe. Why you need to put water back in? But I don't want to put water back in. Instead, I'm using, look, it's, you're inputting polluted water, you're outputting water. I think that's cool. Is that cool? Or should I not? Are we just wanting power from this? It's also turned off. Why? It's turned off because that becomes green. So this. It's turned off because it's not the right temperature. And then when we input, so what am I doing wrong here? What just fell off of me? Maybe split the outage in half. Keep one in Steam Room. I hope you feel better soon. I did wonder what I'm supposed, like, what's the way to wish someone, you know? Because I can't, like, give you chocolate. I didn't know the message to give. I'm starting to think I don't want to use this to convert polluted oxygen, polluted water. I don't think this is the most efficient way to use this, and I think this should just generate power. Because it's not going to be on all the time. Yeah, I realized. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think we only use this to get some heat power. I don't think this is where we convert it. I think we do that somewhere else. Like in an industrial brick, for example. Well, why not both? I think heating up the polluted water just takes so much power. Because our polluted water's at like 6 degrees or something. Let it flow back into the steam room. Ah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Would this block one of the inputs? I don't know what to say because my brain says no. Empathy is a hard one to learn, and sometimes it's hard to turn off as well. Right, so we want that to go to... there, and then... send green signal if above. I'm going to switch these around, actually. Have this one be the one to go down there. And this one is actually going to go like that. See what I've done? Does this work? So as long as... don't use those bridges out as it has priority. No, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being here. We stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, same time as today, 12 GMT to about 3 GMT. So if you pop back in, I'll let you know how it goes. Appreciate the follow as well. Appreciate the follow. Right, so as long as this is the correct temperature, it's going to input more temperature. Right? I just accidentally... How? We would all like to know. But if there's ever excess heat and steam, then it will output water and deal with polluted. If there's excess steam. So let's send all of these up and see if we can cause that to happen manually. If we launch them all at the same time. Begin. 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 Yeah, so if it's the correct temperature and we don't have max steam, it inputs polluted water. And if this ever reaches 20 kilograms stable, you're just doing psychic damage to all of us? What, this build? True, welcome in for 347 streams. It's 8 in the morning for me, and he's still sleeping. I meant to give him a hug before I leave. I didn't realize my hands are cold, and I just went and put them on his back. And say that my hands are cold. Do you know what's funny about that? You doing that, right, to him would probably be quite adorable, right? But the way it worked out wasn't. I get psychic damage just looking at the game. Ooh, that's actually outside of this range. Same with that one. So what is that range? So we're going to put a tile there. This range goes to there. We'll put another tile there. There and there. We probably don't need so much excess steam in here either. Like, the steam room is bigger than it needs to be. Like, this whole corner here we could get rid of. Do you need more temperature? Yes, I would imagine so. Wait, why aren't they running very well? I think it is the temperature, yeah. It's the temperature. Understandable. The temperature, get that up. So like 200. 200. What, switch it to a 200 one? Overheat? Why is that made out of copper? See if that works. Right, deconstruct that. Deconstruct that. I'm back, welcome back. The child says hi. Hello. Ooh, it's outputting some clean water because the temperature's correct. The pressure. Is it? No. How do we put more heat into this then? What were you saying before ads? Yeah. The thing that you did, so the fact that you were like trying to give him a hug before you left, he would probably find that adorable, right? But then the fact that you had cold hands and you freaked him out of his sleep is quite funny. But the thought that counts. This is why I think the turbine should only be running when this room's correct. Also, there's not enough heat in here. Where do we get more heat? Wider or longer the heat spike? Well, this is already cooled down. So maybe we... Is there too much metal? No, because it shouldn't be leaking heat anywhere. This shouldn't be leaking any heat. Unless there's a way we can collect even more heat. Back to the aquatuner. Well, I'm thinking, if you think of how much gas goes into the void, I'm trying to think, is there an item that tells you when a spaceship is leaving? Mission control station? I hate mornings so much right now. Days you need hot water because it's okay, we get hot water for you. Why, thank you. Having wider heat spikes will just process the heat quicker. And capture it all? That's what I'm thinking. But in order to do that, I need to figure out a way that we can open the doors when a spaceship is coming or leaving. I don't know if that's a thing. Like some way to automate when they leave or enter. Do you know what I mean? It's like, for example, just for this example, get rid of that. Build something that's like there, probably. All the way up. All the way down. We shouldn't need to be in here, but just in case, we'll do that. And then bunker doors. Drywall would have to be out of something very heat resistant, like obsidian. Or maybe ceramic. What's the overheat temperature of ceramic? Ceramic. What? C-E-R-A. C-E-R-A. Ceramic. Should hopefully survive. But how would I automate these gates opening? Metal tiles on the side to help with the heat transfer. Well, no, this is just for the gas. Oh wait, no, I get what you mean. But how would I automate this? Is there an automation with this? Sends green signal when the rocket is ready for flight, otherwise sends a red signal. Launch rocket, cancel launch. Send green signal when the rocket is on the rocket platform, otherwise sends a red signal. But what I mean is the spaceship's gonna be leaving and I gotta leave so I can start driving to work. No worries, Rexy. Appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you coming in. What I mean is there a way to automate this to open when the spaceship is leaving or arriving without me touching it? Because I want all of this automated, like the mining spaceships. If you know what I mean. The rocket platform? What, this? How would I do that? Which one of these outputs? Because that one sends green signal when the rocket is ready for flight. So how would, like, so it launches. And then once it's gone, this closes. And then once it's on its way back, this opens. What does this do? I think so. Let me quickly go over to Google and double check something. Oxygen not included. In fact, I'm going to use ChatGPT for this one. I would insulate on the outside of the metal tiles and then remove the door, if you can do that. Yes, let me figure this out first. ChatGPT, because it will search loads of websites at once. Option not included. Are you able to automate bunker doors? Opening for rockets and then closing until they return. Let's see if that's actually a thing. Yes, an option not included. You can automate bunker doors to open for the rockets launching or landing and close afterwards to protect against meteors. Here's a reliable way to set this up with using automation logic. Bunker doors, automation wire, automation sensor, space scanner, or robo miner status, if needed. OR gate and an AND gate for logic. Right. To open the bunker doors when the rocket launches or lands, detect rocket activity. The rocket platform has a green output to signal when the rocket is present or idle or landed. The signal turns red when the rocket launches or is away. Use a NOT gate to invert that signal. When the rocket launches, no rocket on platform, signal is red, NOT gate makes it green, open the bunker doors. Buffer gate, add a buffer gate after the NOT gate to keep the doors open for a bit longer, ensuring the rocket has enough time to leave or enter. To close doors during idle time, invert via a NOT gate, red, bunker door closes. You can also combine with a space scanner. If meteorites are detected, prevents the doors from opening. Huh? Do these need to be fully open for the rocket to go through? Leaving and returning rockets. It looks that way. So it says rocket platform output. Automation. Output. It says send that to a NOT gate. We're going to figure this out right now. Automation. We're going to use this because we're going to be using that one. So we'll send that to a NOT gate. There's going to be a hot room. Then a buffer gate. Then the bunker door. Right, just for this, we're going to use one of these. So why is that open? Oh, is it because the rocket's almost back? Oh, I don't know which one it is. I'm just going to tell space station to land here. I mean, it got some gas in here though. Got a ton of hot carbon dioxide. What about when I launch it though? Let's send it back over there. Begin launch. Oh. But does it close between? Whoops. Does it close between? It needs to open faster. Oh, was that the issue? So why is it not closing after it's left? That's the thing. Check the buffer. 5 seconds. It should close. I think this extends the pulse. A buffer gate extends it. Outputs green signal if the input is green. Continue sending green for an amount of buffer time after the input receives a red signal. So that has to receive a red signal. So that needs to go green again. Sends a green signal when the rocket is on the rocket platform. So green is the prioritized color over red. So this says to use a signal counter. Signal counter. Counts how many times a green signal has been received up to the chosen number. When the chosen number is reached, it sends a green signal until it receives another green signal. When it resets automatically, it begins counting again. To create a pulse? How does this work? Oh, wait. So let's say the rocket was landed. Green. This wants to be 1. How does that create a pulse? How to pulse a green signal. From the middle? Oh, wait. Whoops. Yeah, you might be right about that. Oh no, that turns on the thing. Oh, apparently this should hold the time, then revert back to red. The buffer gate. But it doesn't. Continue sending a green signal for an amount of buffer time if the input receives a red. It's a not gate. That's a not gate. So do we need the not gate? This says rocket platform to the not gate to a buffer gate on 10 seconds, then the door. Right, but Fret, welcome in for 327 streams. It can never receive a red signal. That's what I mean. So this buffer gate's weird. What if I do it without the not gate? But then when the rocket returns, this doesn't open fast enough. So what if I just did it without that entirely? What if I didn't want to pulse it? What would happen then? Nothing happened. Oh, it can't because that's not open. How you doing, Fret? It's good to see you. Then it would break the doors. Doing well for Monday morning. I'm glad. Just venting at the top. So stick with the original. So we'll go from here to a not gate. So venting it when it's not here, and then when it's here, we process the gas. The metal sides to absorb the heat. Right, why are you closing? Oh, that it worked. But how does that work? Because it's grabbed a ton of hot air. So we're processing the heat from the air and the tiles, right? And this will be when they're unloading, because this will be for ships that are meant just for mining resources. Oh, remove the doors? Well, like this to try and grab extra heat. Like grab it on the way out. That might actually be best. We'd need a way for them to input some of this. I can't believe that fits. That's perfect. Instead of drywall then, would we want this as temp shift plates? To like really grab the heat? I'm all about the overkill. Because what if we did like, it's a lot of ceramic you'd need. Where am I using ceramic? Oh, for the, yeah. I don't have any ceramic currently. What if I did an extra metal tile there then to save on the ceramic? And then utilities, temp shift, steel, hopefully. Steel. And we can be like... just along the bottom of it. Maybe one more. Like that, along the bottom of it. Being temp shift. What's that? You see what I mean? Now, what, this and that? See which one works better? I like your thinking. Let's go for two of the... So we'll go for the logistic one, and this one can be that one, and then they should both be the same. They were indeed not the same. So temperature-wise, this one already had carbon dioxide in there. So let's check the temperature beneath them. Well, that's a bigger spaceship, so... Ooh. That water's too hot. Switch the engine on the tiny one. Alright, should we give it a moment for this to vent out? Wow, it really does struggle to get rid of this carbon dioxide, doesn't it? Even with this being the vent thing. The side walls on these, this one here is hotter than that one. So I think this holds heat better, this design. Let's look at the temperature. So the metal on this side, down here, is hotter. We could also, to prevent heat loss, have insulated tiles above this, because we don't want gases cooler than the steam temperature. So that's 100 up there. Because we don't want it to be reversed and switch whether we're taking heat or giving heat to this steam, carbon dioxide. Right, we'll give that a little bit longer, and then once this is drained a bit more. In fact, let's do a hypothetical. Let's turn all of this to a vacuum. Right, so both of these are going to be a vacuum. Uh-oh, I just brushed the tiles. I can't remember if that's bad or not. Should be fine. We'll clear the floors. Let me just quickly deconstruct all of that. This. Let's see which design holds heat better. So this temperature down here on both of the, in fact, it's hotter over here. Let's deconstruct the background buildings. No, let's wait. Okay. So, like, this temp shift plate, 136. This side is hotter. Like, look how hot it is up there. Maybe it's hot up here on the way out, and on the way in it's not. So let's launch this one. Let's launch both of them, actually. So this one will go there. No. We'll go to the left. This one will go to the one beneath it. Let's begin both of these. So launch, and then launch. Temperature-wise. Up here, the gas is 1,800 degrees Celsius. So these tiles down here, it's hotter on this side, the tiles. Why? What's the difference? What's the difference here? I think the drywall's heating up on this side. Hypothetically, right? Let's have a look at this. Hypothetically, what if everything... In fact, let's do a third one over here. With the two on the walls. But I want to do it the whole way up. How much did the temp shift plate cost? That's a drywall temp shift plate. That's 800. Right, let's do design number 3 just quickly and see what happens with it. And what I want to try with this one, just out of pure curiosity, what would happen if the whole thing was made out of temp shift plates? Land there. So that's 140 because I think it was filling the chamber. Now what would happen? So launching seems to generate a lot more heat than landing. So there's some very hot carbon dioxide here. Why is the carbon dioxide in these ones hotter? Let's do a couple more landings. See if that's the issue. Or is it just we take the heat out of it quicker? Carbon dioxide, 180. So this one over here is still 190 because of the amount of carbon dioxide here at 190. This one's at 260 because this carbon dioxide seems to be hotter somehow. Add to P, is it working? I'm trying to figure out the science behind this middle one just being hotter. So let's look at the metal tiles. So I just bumped the microphone. So we've got this tile over here, which is at 191. This one's at 220. This one's at 153. This one is all temp shift tiles. This one is all drywall. This one is all drywall and mixed in temp shift tiles. So I think the temp shift tiles is storing the heat for longer. The ceramic is giving the metal more of the heat. Remove the insulator between the thing. But these are 3 different designs. Here's something I'm going to try though. I don't know if this is what you meant. But let's do that. Let's isolate each one of these. And then let's put this one back into space. And launch. We can remove the heat gun. Yeah, we can actually. So let's say we want it all to be 0. Can I do that? How does this work? Does that only work for gases? How do I use this? Uh-oh. How does this work? We'll just do a vacuum. Yeah, let's do a vacuum. Now, let's do a comparison of the temperatures. Why is this one hotter, other than the fact it's just been here longer?
I have this condition where I spontaneously tell jokes at random times. I think it's called a gag reflex. We had random drug testing at work the other day. Heroin was my favorite. Do pregnant horses run faster because they have 2 horsepower?
2 horsepower. Right, let's have a look at this. So, I'm starting to think the best design might just be this middle one. Right, let's try and figure out this heat gun. So can I brush it onto the tiles? No. How do I remove heat? Remake them? I think that's the only option. Alright, let's deconstruct all of that. Right, we're going to do 3 different designs. So we're going to want, this one will have metal tiles, one of them in the middle, up by 2, up by 2, insulated past this. And then make a gas catch at the bottom in one of them. What's a gas catch? What does that mean? Tunnel to avoid. What about this? Yeah? Dry. I don't think we need ceramic, actually. Let's try and choose... Let's try obsidian, because it's got an overheat temperature. Ah, that removes the temperature plate. This is thermally reactive. The other one's an insulator, so it might actually hold on to the heat, not letting us transfer it. Oops. Wait. Let me deconstruct that for a moment. So this is like, this will be a trap. So this should hopefully trap some of the heat in. can't I put it there? Oh, something's broken there. That block is broken. Okay, we'll just ignore that. I broke a block over here. Okay, right, so ignore that. And then we'll go up to the top. Looking at this, I think this is already my favorite looking design. Especially with this back bit here. Ooh, let's actually do that there and there. I think this is going to be our design, if I'm honest. Because exactly what you're saying. I like that idea. Right, let's pause. Let's deconstruct that and this. Right, and then do metal along here. We want the second rocket bay. So we'll have one of these here. The second one will be above that. That's what I was thinking, but I've got 2 temp shift plates made out of steel here, which might do the same thing, right? Or that. Yeah. Look at this. We are absolutely professionals at this game. And then just for the satisfyingness, this whole bottom area from there will be temp shifts in the middle. Other than this side, because we don't want it hitting that insulated tile. And then we'll have ceramic everywhere else. No, not ceramic, sorry, obsidian. Is that obsidian? Yeah. And then we'll do obsidian all the way up. And then we'll do the temp shifts. Oh, if we do this and go metal, this will actually help us place it. Right, we'll do this, and then we'll launch them, and then we'll probably end off for today. Oops. But I was hoping to get this built today, but we've just been designing, and I think this is a cool design. I don't know the actual, whatever, but I also want a supercooling loop to help out the steam turbines in the actual room down here. Right, and then last one, we'll deconstruct this, and we'll keep this separate, if I'm honest. We'll keep this separate. And we'll just do the normal... Whoops. We'll just do the first design we had. And see if it works any better at capturing some of that heat. which would just be this, but ceramic. Right, bear with, and then we'll do a couple of launches, and that'll be it. If this works, you have to call me a genius. Oh, 100%. I did that idea of the gas trap at the bottom. Sounds very cool. Because even if it doesn't like keep the gas there forever, it's gonna slow it going up here in a way. Let's do that. Okay, so the same spaceship. In fact, let's go to star map. So let's go for the orbital, the explorer, and I think that one. Or we just do the same one. We quickly launch and bring back. I think it also doesn't really matter. So this one can be space station, and this one can be orbital. Right, let's watch the temperatures. We're hoping the gas gets up here. So immediately, this one is absorbing more heat up here, with it being obsidian. But let's launch them, because then it will give some more heat at the bottom. Three different designs later. Why are they different temps? Literally. So I just saw that. Right, let's go temperatures and go. Let me change this. There is a lot of gas leaving still, but we're grabbing it with the obsidian. What's the difference between that's obsidian and obsidian? Why is this? What's the difference there between that and that? Oh, the metal tiles maybe? Maybe at the bottom. Oh, to pass into here? What do you mean, like? Like that? The airflow does make vacuums, though. It's way hotter up here. But that's because we haven't grabbed the heat. Ah, see, this is where it gets complicated, because right after the launch, we want access to the heat up here. Right after the launch. But then later on, once this starts becoming a vacuum, this is where it cools down first. So what if we did utilities? What if we did that? Let's land the spaceship here. Would that input it into the metal better? It definitely grabs the heat down here. Hope the design ends up working. I appreciate it. I'm actually going to end in a minute. We'll be back tomorrow around the same time, 12 GMT. But I do appreciate you being here, talking through it with me. But yeah, no, I do appreciate you being here. So this one doesn't really grab the heat at the top though, does it? So where does it stop being hot? About there. So what if we did insulated from there up? And then just the normal? Oh yeah, it is rated. I told Pludgy earlier when he joined stream. I forgot you weren't here. Yeah, got rated. I'm pretty sure it's the people next to us as well, because the ones that we saw, because their base is much bigger. But luckily we used up all of our explosives. Right, this might be my final design for that. Let's do one more launch and then we're done. So this, because what's the temperature in here? After the launch? I don't think the air gap actually brings up the temperature anymore. Oh, it kind of does. Carbon dioxide 200. So we let this top bit here vent off. That's so hot up there because the heat's not being taken from it. So logged in. We need just tons of sulfur essentially. As long as we can get tons of sulfur, we're set. We can actually raid the base next to us with the rocket launchers, because I do want to do a rocket launcher raid. But I think what we do next is we make a little base, like a hexagon, just to process metal, and then we'll just make it refined metal, because that's actually quite hard to raid. But yeah, luckily we used up everything we had before they raided us, so they got no profit from explosives. Right, we'll come back to this tomorrow and we'll figure out the exact design we want, but I think it's going to be probably this end one here. It does also, I think, look the coolest. So that would be like that. And that's what would put the heat down here. And the only other thing I want to change to this is supercoolant cooling these turbines. I think that's the only other thing we need. But yeah. Right. If anyone wants to say bye to YouTube, I can end off YouTube. Quite warm. I wonder why it's so warm. Appreciate your threat. Right. let me save this first of all. Save. In fact, I can quit to desktop. Save and quit. Okay, let's end off the YouTubes. End stream. We'll just leave that as it is.